We're going to talk with Mr. Albert Richardson. He is Director of Youth Services at Marillac St. Vincent Family Services. Albert, good morning and welcome to WVON. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Tell us about Marillac St. Vincent and what's going on over there.
Well, Marillac St. Vincent is a 100-year-old nonprofit organization that provides programs and services for the city's most vulnerable in the areas of childhood education, youth services, seniors, and outreach, community outreach. This program is one that I came through as far as the an after-school portion of it years ago. And the thing that stuck with me is just the love and the care of those individuals who made sure we had somewhere safe to be, not only just not be hanging out on the street, but to be able to talk and build positive relationships with our peers and learn how to deal with life challenges and get through those things. So that is pretty much similar to what we do right now with our after-school programs.
So you're a West Sider?
I am a West Sider. I was born here, but I was raised by my grandparents in Buffalo, New York. So I still have a huge connection there, but I've been back here in the city since 1985, okay. And loving it.
And so is your family still in Buffalo?
Very few. I have a couple of cousins who are still there, but God rest the souls of the others have all gone on. But, still living in my heart here in Chicago.
All right. Now, I trust your family was okay after what took place in Buffalo a couple of weeks ago.
They were. Thank goodness. I'm very familiar with the store. It was a store that we frequent very many times when I was living there. But yeah, they were not around at that time, so that was a blessing.
Good. So Marillac House, 108 years old, located right at Jackson and California.
Yes, Jackson and Francisco to be exact. Closer to California was the old building at 2822 West Jackson. That was the original building on the west side, and a new structure was built at 212 South Francisco. But diagonally across from there, we have a family center, which is called the Vincent Center. And so we have a program that's housed in that building, and we have a after-school program housed in the 212 building, as well as one on the north side in the Lincoln Park area.
So Marillac St. Vincent has expanded. When was the new building built right there on Francisco and Jackson?
On Francisco and Jackson, oh my goodness, the Fogley Center was actually renovated. It had been there since 2013 or so, but it was, or just before that, but it was renovated. It used to be just it was a food pantry.
Got it.
Partly a food pantry. We had a food pantry, but it was mostly a clothes. We sold clothes. We had clothes in there for the community. Just humongous space for that area for a thrift store. And with the gracious donations through Vincent and some other funds, we were able to change it over and include a gym. So now it has a gym and different classrooms. It has a music studio for our teens and young people, and it's just been able to enable us to do some just great programs to be able to keep our youth busy.
All right, so the Hoopers on the west side and the Hoopers in Chicago will remember Marillac House.
Absolutely.
Because that's where we used to go to play ball, right there on the corner of Jackson and in California. Yes. It was that's how summers were spent, watching basketball, right, or playing and watching basketball right there at Marillac House. But you've got a lot of other things going on now with your youth programs. Talk about those some, if you would.
We do. In one of our programs, the school-age program, is, and there's a difference between our Hope Junior. We have a Hope Junior and a school-age. And the thing that makes them similar is both they deal with after-school programs. They have youth between the ages of 5 and 13 years of age. Hope Junior, although they go all the way up to 18 to our teens. We also have an after-school matters program. Presently, they're working remotely. But both of these programs make sure that our youth have creative arts. We're working on STEM programs, which the Hope Junior program was doing previously before the pandemic came in. And so we're going to reestablish that. But they right now have bands going. They just this weekend their band, the dancers, they were at the Bank of America marathon this weekend, and they performed there. They've been traveling to about a few states just a couple of months ago. They were out and about doing that. But we also have just some incredible volunteers and staff who create these programs to make sure not only they're having fun and that they're enjoying life and they have a few hours to be safe, but they're building, and I said it earlier, they're building relationships, positive relationships. They're learning how to deal with issues and conflicts so they don't necessarily have to be a part of that statistics out there, that violence.
Yeah, let's pull it back a little bit because you gave me a lot, and I want to make sure we get it in order. So you mentioned the Hope Junior program, the After School Matters program, the Creative Arts program, and a Youth Services program. I want to make sure that we understand what all those are and how people can get their children engaged and involved in them. So why don't we just kind of walk through each one pretty quickly and see what they are. But let's do this because I'm right up against a break. Why don't I take that break first? When we come back, then we'll walk through the programs that are offered at Marillac St. Vincent Family Services and tell you how to get involved in them for this summer. Talking with Albert Richardson, the Director of Youth Programs at Marillac St. Vincent. We'll continue this conversation right after this break. Talking currently with Albert Richardson, who's the Director of Programs at Marillac St. Vincent. And Albert, before we went to break, just want you to take a moment and walk us through quickly what the Hope Junior program is first. What is that?
Hope Junior program offers programs for children and teens, activities and opportunities during non-school hours. We make sure that they get that positive experience at that young age and translate into some positive choices in the future. That is a program that is more community-based. It is just simply if you move into the community and you need somewhere, especially for the summer, for your child to be a safe area, this is a great program to get involved in. And the manager of that program is Miss Deanna Halligan. So there's a number I have that they can call and reach out for that to inquire about.
What is that number?
The number is 773-584-4536.
And what ages participate in the Hope Junior program?
And that is on the youth side, 5 to 13 years of age.
Okay. And then you also have After School Matters programs. Talk about that.
Yes. Yeah, the After School Matters program, again, like I mentioned, they are right now remote, so they have not been inside the buildings, but they pretty much pull, again, from around the city. As you know, there are different ones in the city of Chicago, so it's just kind of a matter of where people are living, what area of the city you're living in, and which program.
We had the program director from After School Matters on last week, but which ones are what programs do you have at Marillac House?
They have the theater and creative arts. That they work at for Marillac House. But at that time, I don't know exactly where their timeline is going to be. Again, they haven't been in the building as of late. But they are, I think, presently starting to get that group back together again. But again, with the number I just gave you, if they can call Miss Deanna Halligan, and she will be able to progress them a little bit more with that program.
Yes, and After School Matters programs generally are for high school students.
That is generally for the high school students. That is correct.
Yes, interesting to see how you do theater remotely.
I would, I'm probably going to look into that myself to see how that's been working. They've been doing it for quite a bit of time now, but from my understanding, it's been working pretty well. So I'm interested to see how that is working, but it's just good to see them still connected, which is important that they stay connected with those teams.
Yeah, and I mentioned in the introduction that Marillac St. Vincent Family Services is really working against gun violence, and the work against gun violence is truly preventative, having someplace else and something else to do for young people. You mentioned the volunteers and how they develop relationships with young people. Talk a bit more about that, if you would, Albert.
Yeah, we have definitely a lot of a huge connection with DePaul University, and at both of our sites and our locations, they have been a tremendous help to coming sometimes a couple of times out of the week and working with our young people, and the kids get to see a different perspective. These kids are coming; they live in different areas, from the Lincoln Park area and other areas, but they come in and learn who our kids are. It's not just people coming in just to have somewhere to be and to waste time themselves. They're actually coming to provide, some insight about life skills to our youth. And I think that's really important that our kids that pretty much are kind of stuck sometimes in the area they're in. They don't really get out and explore. It's important that they see a different side of our city and get a different perspective of what that looks like. And so these volunteers from DePaul and other different communities and churches that come in and volunteer with us during the Christmas time and other different events are just a huge impact, have a huge impact on our youth and our kids.
Great, and that's the St. Vincent de Paul Center up on, you work with that's also part of your organization that's up on Webster and Halstead.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Albert, thank you so much for coming on with us this morning and telling us about what's going on at St. Vincent de Paul as it happens all over the city, and and updating me on what's been going on since we've been over there playing basketball. So it's a wonderful place, wonderful facility. The number there is 773-584-4536. Albert, be well, and thank you again for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.